thank you so much for that. Thank you, Alan. Right. Hello, everyone. Lisa Ware, improvising from Winchester Services with laptop. And in fact, I am outside, but I've got an earpiece in, so you can't hear all the noise I can hear. Today, I'm going to be talking to you and helping you to what is becoming more prevalent. We're in a very changing environment at this moment, and where broadband's concerned, you're fine. If you live in the cities, the towns, the conurbations, you're probably not even going to experience much. But should you live like myself in the countryside and remotely, and lots of small villages and some places in towns are being affected by something that is going on, and it's coming from the top down, as I would say. It's the government that is doing this, and they are forcing Openreach to do something called stop sell. I want you to write this down. STOPSELL. And basically what it means is that anybody that's with a current provider, so for myself, it's Utility Warehouse, whoever we're with, if a stop sell has been put on my line, it means I can't change. I cannot change. I cannot change until Openreach spend the money to provide the infrastructure to start creating fibre to the premises. Now, as I say, for many of you, it won't affect you, but it does affect me. So thankfully, I am with Utility Warehouse and I don't wish to change. But if I were with BT, I could be in trouble. If I were with any other provider, and I'm going to give you this because it is affecting a lot of partners that are dealing with people that are not in the major cities. If you're so lucky as to be in Ram's team that all seem to be in and around Leicester, Nottingham, where city fibre is in abundance, it's make hay while the sun shines. But at the moment, I am actually saying this, and it's true. There is an unlevel playing field going on, because for some of my partners, including myself, we can't actually even offer broadband. So I'm going to explain to you what it means. So if you should meet somebody that's with, for example, BT, and they're on the old part copper, part fibre. Okay, so ultra plus, you know what I'm on about. They may have a stop sell on their line. So you will go on the join the club and it will show that it's on offer, but possibly about 4 days later, the customer will receive a call to say that they can't have broadband with UW. In fact, they can't have it with anybody else. They are actually in a situation that they're stuck completely until Openreach provide the infrastructure and then provide fibre to the premises. And this is all because the government is wanting everybody to be on full fibre completely. Now, it also works in reverse. You could meet somebody that's on a company, for example, GigaClear, okay? And GigaClear going all over the place. They are what we call an off-net provider, off-net from Openreach, that are an independent, like City Fibre. And they're going around the country and they're putting people onto fibre. But what they're not telling them is that they're basically stuck with them until eventually Openreach provide some infrastructure to give them the chance, a free enterprise, to switch to another provider. And one of those providers could be us. So down in Somerset, Wiltshire, Dorset, Devon, it's happening masses, absolutely masses. And it's going to be happening to loads of people that are in the countryside. And it's quite restrictive, but we are finding workarounds. Now, here's the other thing that you should know about. And to be honest, I may only talk about this today because the other stuff, I can certainly do it next week. Okay. But when somebody's in this situation, they're going to be quite miffed because, as I have found some of my partners that I've supported, some of these people are paying as much as £60, £70 a month for just their phone and broadband, and they can't switch. Can you imagine how they feel? And it comes up wonderfully that we can provide at £26 or £30 or whatever. And then it is the reality we can't. Now, I'm going to explain to you what you need to look out for. If up on the screen, it should come that there's just, for example, ultra, and it comes up with a definitive speed, just one speed. Invariably, that means it's available. And yes, we can do it. It's on the system. You can switch them. But it's when you go on the join the club and it comes up that there's ultra, ultra plus, and then it also says standard. And you know, standard is really expensive. It's about £39. Yeah. When you see that, and they are possibly in a more remote place, you may find that you can't switch them. So I've come up with a workaround. Head office knows about it. I've been speaking to the broadband provisioning team and some of the, as we would say, the hierarchy at UW, because this is a bit of a nightmare for some people. They do not want to stay with their current provider. They want to come to us because we offer better value. So one of the workarounds is to say to them, if they buy outright a mobile router, a router that links into the mobile network, okay, then we can help them. Now, I have done this for someone already. And what I've done is, it was a family and they actually wanted 4 unlimited SIMs anyway. But what we've done is they've purchased a router outright. They decided to source it themselves. I did tell them of one that I've got myself, but they decided to source it. And then they purchase an extra SIM card. Now, everyone knows the unlimited SIMs on the JTC, the maximum you can order are 4 on the first sign up. But afterwards, you can add more. Okay. Lindsay's holding up something very similar. Yes, Lindsay, thank you. So one of these unlimited SIMs can be put into the router, the nano SIM, and then it literally links in to the EE network that we use. And because it's unlimited data, you can do it. And what it means is that then they can run their devices like their laptops and mobiles, tablets, through Wi-Fi on this mobile Wi-Fi router. It's a workaround. And hopefully, I can see some nodding, which is great. So some of you know about this stuff. But it means we're offering them an alternative. And ladies and gentlemen, 2 SIMs, no matter whether it's essential or unlimited, means that you get customer bonus twice. Yeah. So if you have energy and 2 SIMs, you've earned 3 services. That's £250. Okay. Can you give me a thumbs up that you understand that? Brilliant. Brilliant. I'm so pleased. Okay. Now, it's not going to happen everywhere, but it is happening a lot in the sticks, as I would call it. The other thing too is people, especially the elderly, are not wanting to lose their good old-fashioned landline number. Now, many, many people, when they're younger, don't give a damn. All right. They are already using that mobile phone for everything, aren't they? Absolutely everything. And to be honest, I do have a landline, but I've never given the number out to anybody, not even my mother. because I've got my mother to realise that there is going to be this switch off of the landlines. They're going. They've been talking about it for a number of years, but they were talking about the delay till 2027, but it's not happening, guys. It's happening now. So how do we do a workaround? Because the alternative for them to keep that number is to have something called VoIP, VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. And basically, you can have a little adapter and it plugs into the router and they can actually carry on using their normal handset. And it means they can keep that number. Now, at this moment, sadly, UW are not offering VoIP. But what I can say, it is actually coming. It is coming. I think possibly, without putting my commission on it, we could say that there is a really big annual conference coming up. I think possibly it could be an announcement, but don't hold me to that. Now, in the meantime, what I've been doing, because I have had a few people that want this, I have been using a company called VoIP Phone. That is Victor, Oscar, India, Papa, Foxtrot, Oscar, November, Echo, VoIP Phone. They are, I'm not on commission, by the way. They are quite an amazing company that offers for residential, they can get 100 inclusive minutes and there's no charge to transfer their number. There's no charge for the transfer. As long as somebody's got one of these little adapters, they can transfer their number. And what's happening is if they move over, to example, to fibre to the premises and they want that number, they can keep it. It plugs into their internet. You must help them understand this is not an analog line, that if the electricity goes down, that they can still make that phone call, because they can't, because it's linked into the internet, into their router. And not only will their internet go down if the electric goes down, but so will that phone number. So I think we have, I'm going to say here, a care of duty. That's what I'll call it. We have a care of duty to help many people that are, shall I call it, mobile phobic. One of them is my mum. All right. And I'm trying to teach her how to use a mobile phone, because in reality, we need to use these phones, because otherwise all we're doing is limiting ourselves, aren't we? Yeah. Now, all of us use a mobile phone. In fact, I think life is pretty difficult without. Okay. Now, I was going to show you lots of bits and bobs, but I daren't, because I'm on a outside network. I'm on the Winchester Services Network. So I'm keeping it just to this, but hopefully I'm orally explaining stuff fairly well. And I can always send you information as well. So people that want to keep a landline phone, if they move over to fibre, because what you'll find, this is what's going on now, folks, even in the towns, if people are currently got good old, what we call part copper, part fibre, to us, ultra, and they then want to come to us, they're with another network and they've got the old fashioned, what's happening is Openreach are being ordered. It's not Openreach being negative and obstructive. This is the government doing this. You know, this has been foretold and it's happening. And the way that I equate it to help people understand, and this might be worth writing down, I say to some of the more elderly, look, can you remember many years ago, once upon a time, you used to go to the post office and you used to go and collect your pension. You turned up with a book and they would hand you money over the counter. And then all of a sudden, the government said, and don't quote me when it was, but I think it was sometime in the 90s, the government all just said, I'm sorry, there's no more collecting your pension at the post office. You have to have a bank account and your pension is going to be paid directly into your bank. I'm sure lots of you are aware of that. Yeah. This is a good analogy to use of what's happening now. This isn't Utility Warehouse playing up or Sky or anybody. Everybody is in the same boat. All right. It's happening. So if they've got part copper and fibre and they come and the only thing that is available is fibre to the premises, well, you've got to kind of help them see that they're going to get a better quality service for a start. And then ask them, this is the way to do it. Do you make and receive calls through your mobile phone? And if they say yes, say wonderful. So it probably doesn't matter that now, because you're going to have this new technology, this superb fibre, that there will be no landline. And sometimes some people will say, oh, yeah, but my mother rings me and she rings me on the landline. I think this is where we've got to try and help them realise that actually, do you know what? Maybe help the mother understand they've got to ring a mobile. And actually, in truth, there's more freedom, isn't there? Because, for example, my mother, if she's not in her house and we ring, we can't get her. And that's why we're saying, Mum, you've got to have a phone on you. And to give you an idea, my mum believed, you know, Careline, one of those things you wear around, she believed if she wore it and went up to the local co-op, which is a good 100 yards or more away, she believed that if we phoned her, that if she had her landline handset in her pocket, she could receive the call. Now, I'm not taking the mickey out of my mum because I know that this is quite a lot of people think this stuff. But I've said, no, Mum, that's no use at all. Whereas if you had a convenient mobile phone on you, if that's in your pocket and someone rings you, they can get hold of you. And God forbid if you have a fall, do you know what? You can ring the emergency services or us. So actually, I feel there's a kind of duty of care here to really help people going forward. Now, if you get somebody that is absolutely adamant, they do not want to lose that number, then at the moment, the choice is to get hold of a VoIP service. There are some people in the network that have been doing this for some years and offer. I personally have gone with VoIP phone. I've done it for my builder last year. He's got 5 vans that he is all electric and everything. He's got backup batteries, solar panels, and he's economy 7 and there's loads. But all the vans have got a landline number on them, haven't they? And he said, it's not for me. He said, we never ring out. But he said, the funny thing is, a lot of people associate, if they see a localized number, people think, oh, well, they're good, they're in business. And I get that. So he had to keep it. So I set him up with VoIP phone and it all works perfectly. And I've done it for about 4 other customers too. So look, guys, I'm going to keep it short and sweet because I was going to do other things, but I'm going to do it next week because it's just sort of a bit of bad timing at the moment that I'm on my way to Basingstoke and looking forward to seeing some of you. But I just couldn't get set up in time and it's not a terribly good stable connection. I don't know if some of you've seen it says unstable connection. And I don't think it'd be wise of me to start sharing screens and that. But what I'm going to say is any questions at all, right? I'm going to open it up because I'd love you to ask. So let me do. Um, could you unmute yourselves, guys? If you uh, ask all to unmute. There we go. If you like to unmute. Anybody at all got a question about any of this? Because I understand it's fairly new. Anyone? Yes.
I'm dealing with somebody now that's about to change to a VoIP connection. So I'm dealing with that with a customer now, but I've joined a company since April, and this is my first time that I've had to do it for somebody.
Okay.
So
Who are
fingers
you?
crossed.
Who are you using,
Uh,
Fran?
it's MIH VoIP with Anthony Illingworth, who's a UW partner.
And he's very experienced, so I would say that was quite a wise thing to do. All right.
That was through another partner gave me that through
Yeah.
Carenza.
Yeah. Well, I've been using VoIP phone because it was another senior group leader that told me about it, and it is ever so inexpensive. Because what I'm learning about VoIP phone, many people, it's not so much that they ring out on these, it's that they want the incoming calls. Yeah.
Mm.
The only good thing to say to everyone, just so you know, hospitals, doctors now, they're all asking for mobile phones, aren't they? Because what they actually do is they confirm appointments through text messaging. So I think you could say that the services, um, social services and all that people use, it's kind of pushing people to mobile phones. So I think it's going to get easier. I just feel we're in a transitionary period. It could be as much as a year, and then I think it will even out. But I'm like this for all of you, for me, that UW bring in
Mm.
VoIP so we don't have to go
Mm.
elsewhere, because I want to continue to offer this one-stop shop that we've got, all your
The
services in
trouble
one
is, it
bill.
our one of the customers I've got, her landline is now separate, but she's still with UW. But it's much more expensive to do that with UW than it is with another provider. She
Yes.
hasn't moved yet, but this new customer definitely needs to keep her landline because she's got the pendant and the alarm, and she's had the upgrade on the care package to make sure it's internet and not plugged into the BT socket. And we're just
Yeah.
waiting to see when she wants to switch, but there's a flow chart and everything. So it's a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep it all with UW, yeah.
What I would say to you with VoIP phone, uh, one of the main reasons I chose them is their customer service is absolutely second to none.
Mm.
You get to speak to real people that you can understand. Everybody know what I
Mm.
mean by that, truly. And one lady, I was there with her laptop, and he brought in TeamView. Some of you may know what TeamView is. And so he just took over and he did all the transitioning of her number from, actually was an existing VoIP number with BT because she already had fibre,
Mm.
and transitioned it over. And even though we did that, it was £6 a month. But because she had City Fibre, everything was still half price compared with what she was paying with BT. So she's been happy it's all been done. Yeah. Um, any more questions about this? And I'm
Uh,
sorry. Yes, go on, Lindsay.
two comments. I mean, I personally still have a landline and have a very, very old landline that's just a landline. The internet is on a separate landline, but that's me. The other thing is that you said this is mainly for the country. In the towns, if you see somebody if you can offer part fiber, also fiber, and they want to keep their landline, presumably would then use a part fiber thing to keep their landline, also instead of full fiber, if that option still exists.
Right. And this is it, Lindsay. What's happening is Openreach are being forced by the government.
Yeah.
And so the suppliers are being forced by Openreach. If there's a stop sell, they actually have no choice. They can't even keep their landline if they want
Wow.
to switch provider.
Okay.
So in that case, they have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
stay with who they are.
Understood. It's just it's obviously it's a dodgy connection from the wind services. Yeah. So
yeah, sorry, it's saying unstable at this moment. Did you hear
yeah.
what I said?
No, as you started doing that, it went off. So
Okay, right.
so openly, yeah, yeah.
So what we've got is if there's stop cell on there,
Yeah.
and they are currently with another provider, they've got a line and they've got part fibre, copper, yeah, and they want to move to us. If it comes up, you know what I said with all these options,
Yeah.
even if they choose one of the options, probably 4 days later, they'll get a phone call from the line provisioning team telling them, no, we can't help you. So they're stuck with who they are. But I know what's going to happen. What is in the offing is there's going to be a point between now and January 27. So you're only looking, it's not long when all of a sudden they'll have no choice. That landline will be taken away. And I was only speaking to one of the very high up people in the line provisioning this morning for about 40 minutes about all of this. So, but if you see, listen, if you see, has anyone seen on the screen Fibre 40 and Fibre 80? Anyone had that come up?
No.
All right, if you get that, that's good news. They can have that. But of course, there's no line. There's no landline. All right. It's when you get the lots of options that possibly it's not going to be there. All right. So, guys, I'm going to end it now and say I'll see you all next week. I won't be in a field. I won't be in a services. I will be at home. And see you
Thank
later,
you.
guys, at Basingstoke.
Yay!
Bye-bye.